feeling ko kasi I'm a beauty guru. Kiniklaim ko na talaga siya dahil. Kasi parang I want to have, there's a relationship kasi between client and doctors. But sometimes the client doesn't have a courage to talk with doctors. Parang they feel much more comfortable with the people na nag-undergo na ng surgeries or may beauty sa merong eye with the ano. So parang I'm the middleman of the person who wants to undergo any beautification but they don't have courage or trust with the doctors. Kasi may ganun. And me, I'm the middle channel to the right doctor or to the right clinic. Yun yung expertise ko kasi. Sa tagal kong may eye sa beauty, knowledge ko because of my experiences din and the mga pinagawa ko, parang I think I am the right person to, to tell you which doctors or which clinics you can undergo with. Kasi some people, they do change because they want lang na magyabang or parang para siyang social status na kasi ngayon eh. Before, para siyang tabu na naabutan ko yung ganung era na parang pag may pinagawa ka, sobrang big issues na parang, uy, kasi ganito, ganyan. Parang, tapos ikaw, mahihiya. Kaya parang ako, lagi ko sinasabi, Dok, gusto yung natural, yung hindi halata. Sometimes kasi may mga doctors na yung expertise nila sa babae, magaling sila mag-surgery ng babae, meron din naman magaling mag-surgery ng lalaki, meron namang expertise nila, mag-ilong lang, yung iba mag-boobs, mga ganon. Throughout the years, dito sa Philippines, na nakikita ko talaga kung sino yung mga magagaling na doctors. So that's why parang madali ako nakakapag-refer. In the last episode, I talk about events and the responsibilities that comes with handling important moments. But today, I want to talk about something just as personal. It's all about beauty. Not to glamorize the version, but the part people that don't always talk about it. Welcome to Kerbu. This is a space for conversation about creating beautiful things, whether that's events, ideas, growth, or moments that matter. I'm Jerome, and this is the beginning. So, when people hear beauty, what do they usually think it means? So, I think for me, people always think about it's just only a surface level. It's only about the looks, trends, procedure, and also the validation. But also, they also acknowledge that those things exist, but they're not the whole story. Being in the beauty industry kasi, I'm not really professionally in the beauty. Wala akong proper na pinag-aralan. But my first job is I was a medical representative for cosmetic implants, which is like yung mga sa nose, sa mga implants sa chin, sa dede, ganyan. And I also sell mga botox, fillers, ganyan. So yung doon nag-widen yung knowledge ko about beauty. Na talagang people invest a lot of money just to change how they appear. Since that's my first job way back 2013, so I just been on that job for a year, but I have a lots of realizations. So dun din nag-start yung after 3 years, I think dun yun din nag-start yung first surgery ko, which is my rhinoplasty. So I undergo with that, but I done a lot of research. And then also this doctor that made my rhinoplasty is also the tie-up of the company that I work with before. So this doctor, he is very well known in the cosmetic industry. So a lot of cosmetic surgeons, plastic reconstructive surgeons, and also dermatologists taking pictures with him kasi marami siyang book na nasulat, and then parang the doctors are he also always on the parang speaker siya. So talagang he's really, really good on his craft. When he do something with people, yung mga clients niya, siya yung nasusunod. For example, he's just gonna ask you, what do you want? For example, you want rhinoplasty. So sometimes you can show to him the peg that you want. But he just gonna, because he's a bit old na, he's a bit traditional kasi. So he just gonna tell you straight to the point. Pag pinakita mo yung pictures mo, oh, this is not for you. Parang hindi siya bagay sa'yo. So, parang dun ko nakita kasi yung grabe yung pagka-straightforward niya at very honest siya. Hindi siya yung kind of surgeons or doctor na they're just after with the money. So how did beauty become part of my world? So it started naturally. So way back nga nung nag-work ako before as a medical representative in one of the pharmaceutical company in the beauty industry. So dun siya nag-start, dun talaga na-open yung eye ko. And people asking a lot of opinions with me. Kasi doon nabuo yung creativity ko when it comes to beauty. So it's all natural with me. Hindi ako nag-undergo with the, I'm not a doctor, I'm not derma or anything. It's just that because I was a medical representative, doon naging na-broad yung knowledge ko about beauty. Kasi there's a lot of, pumupunta ako sa mga clinics ng doctors, kasi yung client namin is mismo yung doctor. Siya yung end user at siya yung bibili sa amin para magamit niya dun sa client niya. So we need to persuade the doctor kung how effective or how kaganda yung mga implants namin, tsaka yung botox and fillers namin. So yun siya. That time, kilala kami sa cosmetic industry but not really a high-end brands. So some of our brands came from China. So I remember back then I have a product which is the Botox. It made in China, but yung mga competitor ko is from Korea, US. So syempre may notion agad pag China, parang low quality, parang gano'n. Pero doctors still buy it because when they try it, it's really effective. So, and it's cost efficient. I mean, talagang mura siya, pero quality siya. So, it's only about how you present it and pag na-try na nila. But dun ko din kasi nakita talaga yung people invest a lot of money with their appearance. So, dun ko na-realize there's an opportunity with this. So, marami akong friends na they ask my opinion or sometimes I just sharing with them that I undergo with this kind of surgery or this kind of beauty, and then they got curious and then they're gonna ask me which doctor yon. So lagi ako nag-refer dun sa mga previous doctors ko na pinaggawaan ko until parang ang dami ko nang na-refer. Kaya marami rin akong surgery, mga undergo na surgery na 50% na lang yung binayad ko or sometimes bini-free na nila kasi marami akong nare-refer sa kanila. So yun, dun nag-widen yung knowledge ko about beauty. Talagang inaral ko siya. And then I also have a lot of friends now that they have their own aesthetic clinics. So before, also have a friend na ako yung nagsusupply sa kanya before ng mga gluta, gano'n, because he thought na it was really effective on me kung saan ko siya kinukuha. Alis parehas lang naman yung pinagkukunan namin. Pero because they see the changes in me, on my skin, so they're really, really trusting me. So that's also my niche, alam mo yon. So also the trust. Kasi people also scared of doing something with their face or undergo with surgery also because they're not confident. They also seeking with someone na nagkaroon na ng experience with that. So that's why I always advise people na mag-undergo dun sa mga na-experience ko na. Or sometimes I also know the doctors kahit hindi naman ako yung nag-undergo ng surgery with them. But I also saw kung ano yung side na expert sila. May mga ganun eh. Sometimes kasi may mga doctors na yung expertise nila sa babae. Magaling sila mag-surgery ng babae. Meron din naman magaling mag-surgery ng lalaki. Meron namang expertise nila mag-ilong lang. Yung iba mag-boobs, mga ganun. Throughout the years dito sa Philippines na nakikita ko talaga kung sino yung mga magagaling na doctors. So that's why parang madali ako nakakapag-refer. So that's my niche then. As a beauty guru, what responsibility comes with giving beauty advice? So the responsibility with that is you are influencing how someone sees themselves. That's not so small and that deserves care. So you have to experience that kind of thing first bago ka mag-advise. Kasi when you advise someone and then ginawa nila yon, tapos biglang hindi naman siya nag-materialize with them or hindi sila na-satisfied, sometimes the liability is on you eh. Parang minsan they blame you kasi bakit sa akin 'di maganda, sa'yo maganda, parang gano'n. Kaya parang for me kasi as a beauty guru, gustong-gusto ko magtayo ng sarili kong aesthetic clinics, ganyan-ganyan. Pero parang kasing nagkaroon din ako ng kind of skills na I know where to send people in a right doctor or in a right clinic. May gano'n akong skills kasi every time dun sa 'pag nag-i-scroll ako ng social medias ko at nakikita ko yung mga ibang clinics, tinitingnan ko talaga yung mga gawa nila. And then sometimes I got curious, I'm gonna send someone there, "Uy, may kilala ka bang ganito, ganyan, ganyan. So, tingin ko maganda dito, try mo." So, ta-try naman nila and then makikita ko na kung effective sa kanila or maganda yung kinalabasan. Dun ako nagkakaroon ng idea, okey dito siya magaling, dito itong doktor na 'to, dito 'to magaling. Parang gano'n, naku-curate ko siya, nako-customize ko siya based lang naman sa mind ko and it's really, really effective kasi based din dun sa mga friends ko or mga clients ko na rin na marami din kasi akong naging clients from event industry, especially sa wedding, na nire-refer ko yung mga bride ko na mag-undergo ng surgery. Or yung iba naman, meron akong client din na nag-undergo ng, nagpa-veneers bago nung wedding day nila, yung iba naman nagpa-rhino 3 months before or 6 months before, yung mga gano'n. Kasi iba rin yung parang confident mo when you have a parang big event tapos may nabago sa'yo. So, yun yung ano, pero in beauty kasi there's also an addiction with it. So, yun din yung parang nakikita ko kasi parang before I felt like para akong na-addict din sa pagpapagawa. May gano'n kasi siyang ano, energy rin na ibinibigay kasi para siyang nai-increase yung dopamine mo kapag nasa-satisfied ka, eh. So, parang 'pag nag-increase yun, hahanapin mo yung gano'ng emotion, yung pakiramdam. That's why parang me, yun din yung parang ina-advice ko rin na sa tao na parang 'pag nakikita ko, "Be, parang sobra na." Ganyan. Especially sa mga fillers, sa botox, kasi madali siyang gawin. Ano lang siya, non-surgical siya, i-inject mo lang siya. So 'pag yung tao parang, "Ay, parang kulang pa." Parang feeling nila kulang pa. Pero for me, I always look for a natural ano kasi, appearance. So, sabi nila natural naman yung mga pinagawa ko, 'di ba? Mukha namang natural, mag-agree kayo? Ayun, so yun yung ina-advice ko sa mga tao na parang there's still a beauty pero may limitation siya. Hindi siya kailangang pagawa ng pagawa. There's also yung ime-maintain mo lang siya gano'n kasi may mga procedure na it will last only 6 months to a year. So, ime-maintain mo na lang yung gano'n. Pero sabihin mong may iche-change ka pa, dun tayo mag-uusapan na parang medyo okay or minimal lang gano'n. Kasi ako may mga gano'n din ako. Parang etong rhino ko, 5 years ago, yung first kong surgery, okay naman siya, na-enjoy ko naman siya for 5 years. And then parang after 5 years, I saw na parang meron pa akong i-improve dito. Pero yung doctor ko kasi, ayaw niya ng scar, ayaw niya ng halatang may scar. That's why hindi niya ako ina-accept magpa-revise ng nose. That's why I find another doctor na gagawa nung alar plastiko, yung gilid ng nose. So, yun siya, kumbaga kinumbinsi ko pa nga yung doktor para gawin ako kasi kahit siya nagagandahan na, "Hindi doc, may gaganda pa 'to." Gano'n. So, wala siyang nagawa, pero nagkaroon ako ng minimal scar, pero since kasi maputi ako, hindi siya masyadong halata, gano'n. At it looks really good on me and they said it looks natural kahit pangalawang beses na siya. So yun, and then after that, okay na ako, satisfied na ako. Kasi I saw people din na parang they do it several times. Meron pa nga akong kakilala 9 times na nagpagawa. Sobrang dami nun. Parang hindi ko alam baka addiction na yon yung gano'n. Pero buhay nila yon. I'm nothing against with them kasi they have a money on it. Pero 'di ba, how about the other clients na parang they just want to change something with them para ma-build nila yung confidence nila. That's also my advocacy with the beauty. I just want them to be confident with the change that they had. Pero hanggang dun lang. Kasi some people, they do change because they want lang na magyabang or parang para siyang social status na kasi ngayon, eh. Before, para siyang taboo na naabutan ko yung ganong era na parang 'pag may pinagawa ka, sobrang big issue na parang, "Uy, may gawa si ganito, ganyan, ganyan." Parang Tapos ikaw mahihiya, kaya parang ako, lagi ko sinasabi, "Dok, gusto yung natural, yung hindi halata." In fairness naman, nung namamaga pa siya, nung mga una, kasi medyo malaki din yung nose ko, wala naman din talagang nakakahalata na nagpagawa. Pero nung unti-unti na siya na umuhupa, bumabagay na siya sa mukha ko. So, parang akala nila pumapayat lang ako, ganyan, ganyan. Okay, so what does beauty actually mean to me? So, it means so much to me kasi sometimes what you feel inside, hindi siya matches sa outside. So, ganun kasi mostly yung nangyayari sa tao, na parang they really, really confident inside, but nawawala yung confidence nila when they see themselves in the mirror, na hindi nila gusto yung nakikita nila. So, dumating din ako sa ganun. Ang dami kong, until now, I still have insecurities, especially with my hair. So, I already done 2 hair transplant para maging natural siya. But before, I was using toupee. It is parang a wig talaga siya, pero natural hair yung ginamit. So, before hindi wala pang masyadong may gano'n. So, talagang they thought that's my real hair. But it was really a 3.5 year struggle period of my life. Kasi parang, alam mo yon, I was really hiding that insecurity kasi wig lang siya, parang gano'n. And sobrang naiinis. For example, inopen ko sa isang friend ko, there was an incident na inopen ko sa kanyang gano'n. And then dinisclose niya sa iba. Because that's my biggest insecurity. Nagagalit ako, gano'n. Kasi wala pang acceptance. Kaya parang I need to undergo, I convinced my mom na to help me to undergo hair transplant kasi hindi siya matanggal sa system ko. I was doing the toupee for 3.5 years. Nandun pa rin yung insecurity, hinahide ko lang siya. But now, because I undergo hair transplant, so twice na siya, hindi pa siya sobrang lago, ng gusto kong sobrang kapal. Parang orangutan, charing. Pero, andito na siya. Kumbaga, real na 'to mga biya. So, nilalagyan ko lang siya ng parang mga hair fiber para it looks fuller, it looks dark, gano'n. Pero 'pag wala siya, it looks okay but not really okay, parang gano'n. For me, gano'n 'yon. So, may onting insecurities pa pero alam mo 'yun, mas confident na ako ngayon. So, gano'n. Dati parang ayan, masinagan lang ng very light na ganyan, parang nagre-reflect agad, parang nagbabatuhan yung ilaw sa ulo ko. Gano'n. So, parang pope pa nga kasi yung pattern ko, there's only 2 types of hair pattern. 'Di ba natututo na kayo sa'kin? Ayun. So, yon, meron kasing M-type, yung dito siya una, so aangat siya pa ganyan hangga't sa mawala. So, just to give you an idea. Tapos yung isa naman, which is mine, is crown type siya. So, nauuna yung lagas dito sa tuktok, pakalat siyang ganyan. Or tuktok, tas sumasabay na yung dito hangga't sa mag-meet sila. Kaya napapansin niyo yung mga kalbo, 'di ba natitirang hair nila dito? So that is the donor area na tinatawag. So, yun yung tina-transplant dito sa tuktok ng hair mo. Kasi, ang mga taong naglalagas ng buhok, in a science, meron tinatawag na DHT. This is the dihydrotestosterone. So, lahat ng lalaki, mataas ang testosterone level namin. So, pag nahaluan siya ng DHT, which is namamana siya, kung yung lolo't at lolo mo merong kalbo, makakalbo ka din. So, yun yung genes na meron ka. So, pag nag-combine siya dun sa testosterone mo, ang mangyayari, malalagas ka. Kahit anong ilagay mong mga minoxidil or topical man diyan, inumin mo, mape-prevent mo siya pero maglalagas din siya soon hangga't sa mawala siya. Yun ang anatomy nung genes na yon, yun yung use niya. But because of the transplant, yung dito kasi, yung DHT na yon, hindi niya naapektuhan yung strong follicles mo, which is the donor area, etong nasa gilid. That's why, yun yung tina-transfer dito sa mga area na wala na. Para soon, kasi 'di ba ang mga lalaki 'pag nagpagupit, dito naman talaga yung manipis, 'di ba? Tapos dito yung makapal. So tina-transfer siya, pero they need an expert one kasi kailangan hiwa-hiwalay nilang kunin 'yon. Hindi puwedeng kunyari itong area na 'to kukunin lahat. Magpopoknat na siya, gano'n siya. So kailangan hiwa-hiwalayin niyang kunin tapos ang follicles kasi natin there's a 4 types. Merong isang hiblang lumalabas, may 2, may 3, may 4. So yung mga isa lang yung hibla na nilalabas ng follicles na yun, nilalagay nila yun dito para it looks natural. Kung makikita niyo yung hairline ko, manipis siya, 'di ba? Kasi yun naman talaga yung anatomy ng hair. Saan ka makakita ng hair na ang kapal nung ganto? Edi parang Barbie doll ka naman no na ano, 'di ba? So ganun siya. So una, pangalawa, pangatlo, pang-apat. There's a lot of science with the hair. So, inaral ko din siya, ganun ka-level. Kaya parang ako, I'm still open up na mag-transplant pa ulit. Pero siguro pag medyo matanda na ako, para mas makita ko yung effect talagang maganda. Pero, ayun lang. Tsaka wala kasi pang budget. Medyo mahal. So, just to give you an idea about the hair transplant, it costly kasi talaga before, I don't know now, ang rate kasi talaga nun per graft ang tawag. So, yung doctor ko kasi before, ang singil niya is 90 pesos to depende sa case, basta ang range niya is 90 to 105 per graft. So, kunyari, kung makunan ko, yung per graft na tinatawag, yun yung follicles mo dito. Pag kinuha yon, di ba, kukunin yon kasi tutusukin yon, kukunin. Tapos bubutasan dito, ita-transfer. 1 graft na yon, nagets mo? So, pag tinransfer gano'n, 90, for example, sa akin, nakakuha ako ng 4,200 plus, ita-times mo yun doon sa rate per graft. Ganun siya. But now, I think, and also my doctor before, pinapackage niya na. Ganon. Kasi in a one seat, hindi nila may estimate kung ilan yung makukuha nila. Kasi kukunin nga nila hiwa-hiwalay, di ba? Hanggat sa makakuha sila ng ganyan. And then, after like 6 months to a year, dun lang nila maa-assess kung pwede ka pa ulit, kung gusto mo pa ulit pa touch up, i-assess nila yung donor area mo kung enough pa siya. Parang ganon. So, syempre, next time, pwedeng mas madami ulit yung makuha or minimal na lang kasi paunti ng paunti yung donor area mo. So, kung ano yung kinuha dito, hindi na siya tutubo kasi nilipat mo na siya, 'di ba? So, ganun siya. So, hindi ka forever transfer na. Pwede naman transfer mo lahat. Yung iba, pag transfer na, wala nang makunan, pwedeng kumuha sa kilikili, sa baba, dito sa pubic hair, kung saan lahat ng may hair. Ganon. So, pero syempre, katulad nung iba, hindi na enough talaga yung donor area, kumukuha sa pubic hair, nilalagay sa tuktok dito, kasi dito yung talagang sobrang nauubos, di ba? Pero kunya pag ganun mo, iba yung textured, makapal, di ba? Kasi ang bulbo, bakit naman? Yung pubic hair, di ba, makapal, tapos makintab. O, can you imagine, di ba? Gano'n siya. So, meron yung doctor ko din, nag-a-eyelash din siya, nagtatanim siya ng mga eyelash, gano'n. Pero imaginin mo, kinuha dito, 'di ba? Ang eyelash kasi nag-i-stop yung tubo niya 'pag medyo mahaba na, 'di ba? Ganyan. Or kung tumubo man siya, nakagano'n siya or medyo iba din yung texture niya. Pero kunyari kung galing sa hair, mas mabilis yung tubo niya. So, imagine mo may hair. O siguro mga 1 buwan, 2 buwan, di mo, ano, 'di gano'n siya. So, may mga science din kasi talaga yung pagta-transplant. Ako naman, sige, kasi pangarap ko mag-ponytail. Yung parang gano'n, no? Yung beach body na ganyan. Tapos, pangarap ko din magkulot-kulot, ganyan. So, hindi ko pa yun na-achieve kasi nga, manipis yung hair ko pa. Kaya laging ang haircut ko is laging manipis dito. Tapos, maikli para natataas ko siya. So, ganun. So, what do I want people to remember about beauty after hearing this? When you decide to undergo any, especially sa surgical procedure, it takes a lot of courage and also a trust to your doctor. Alam mo yun? Kaya nga, I want this platform din also na me as a parang feeling ko kasi I'm a beauty guru. Kiniklaim ko na talaga siya dahil. Ganon. Kasi parang I want to have, there's a relationship kasi between client and doctors. But sometimes the client doesn't have a courage to talk with doctors. Parang they feel much more comfortable with the people na nag-undergo na ng surgeries or may beauty sa merong eye with the ano. So parang I'm the middleman of the person who wants to undergo any beautification but they don't have courage or trust with the doctors. Kasi may ganun. And me, I'm the middle channel to the right doctor or to the right clinic. Ganun siya. So, yun yung expertise ko kasi. Sa tagal kong may eye sa beauty, knowledge ko, because of my experiences din, and ng mga pinagawa ko, parang I think I am the right person to, to tell you which doctors or which clinics you can undergo with. Ganon. And then, that's my name. Diba? I will not send you to the doctor if I think hindi magiging satisfied yung gusto mo. Kasi, i-interviewin din kita, anong peg ba yung gusto mo? Mamaya yung ilong mo parang elepante, tapos gusto mo maging Mama Mary. Ang layo nun, be. Di yung makatarungan. Yung mga ganun ba eksena? So, kailangan realistic din ang peg mo. Mamaya mukha kang ogre, gusto mo maging Mama Mary ka bigla, di ba? So, kailangan maging realistic tayo. Ako naman, very straightforward ako sa mga ganong advices. And talagang, minsan, meron lang akong mga friends, be, ano kaya pwede ko pagawa? Ang pangit ng ilong mo, mukha pang lalaki, gano'n, parang very binabakla ko lang. Pero, it makes sense. Pag pinansin ng, oo nga, no, ganyan, nila. Nakita ko kasi there was also a scenario with my friend na he is a nurse before and then nagtayo na siya ng aesthetic clinic. Before, nagpapa-inject kami ng mga botox, hyaluronic. Yung hyaluronic kasi yun yung pang volume eh. For example, gusto ko nagpapapanga ako dati, itong lips ko, ganyan-ganyan. So now, before, meron kaming doctor talagang gumagawa nun. Kasi ang gumagawa ng mga ganon, mga dermatologist na mga aesthetic, cosmetic surgeon, and plastic reconstructive surgeons, sila lang ang pwedeng gumawa ng ganon. But also the nurses din naman, they also have the skills, pero they need to undergo certificates ng mga pag-i-inject ng ganon. Since yung friend ko, nagtrabaho siya sa public hospital, talagang nagkaroon siya ng yung gaang ba nung kamay, alam mo yon, hindi kasi siya gift eh. It's a skills na kailangan mo siyang ma-develop, na kailangan mo siyang gawin ng gawin. So siya, dahil public hospital siya, gumaang yung kamay niya sa pag-i-inject. So sabi ko sa kanya, be, tingnan natin yung gamot para makita natin. Tapos try natin. Try mo sa akin, dali. I trust you. Ganon. So nung ini-inject niya na sa akin, doon ko na nakikita na, oops, parang kulang pa, ganyan, dagdagan mong very light dito. So, gano'n, hindi po ako doktor. Alam ko mali yun dahil di naman siya, certified with that. Pero doon ko kasi na-discover na I really have an eye with the beauty. And sometimes nakikita ko sa anatomy lang din. Minsan, mas makapal yung dito mo, sa dito, manipis. Para makapal yung ganito mo, na fillers mo dito para mag-volumize. O kaya kung makapal dito dahil mataba, pwede nating non-surgical, pwede ring surgical. It depends sa'yo kung gaano yung ka-gradual ba o talagang sobrang drastic change, ganon. So, na-advise ko yun. So, that's also one of the business that I have. And nagmamaterialize na siya before pa, na marami akong mga friends na nire-refer. Tapos yung doctors kasi, they give me a commission. So, sometimes meron akong partnership din with the doctors na they give a special rate with me. And then once I refer the clients with them, so sila na yung kakausap. Okay, thank you for watching the episode 4. I hope you learned something from me through beauty. So, if you need anything about any beauties or any advices from me, or if you want someone na parang they want to undergo with any procedure, just contact me and I'm willing to help. So, by the way, this is Krebu. I am a creator of beautiful things. Sometimes beauty is seen, sometimes it's felt, and sometimes it's choosing yourself quietly. Thank you!